What's up, guys? Welcome to Sessions with Stephen Live. And today we have Francisco Burgos
How's it
here.
going, everybody? How's it going? How's it going?
You might recognize him from Power. You might even recognize him from when he was really little on Sesame Street. Remember that?
Yeah, 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 real little, real little.
So I'm just waiting to see everyone come on in. I'm excited for you guys to meet this guy. He has a story that I can't wait for you guys to hear. How's it been going?
It's been going good.
Yeah.
I've been going on a lot of auditions now since I've turned 8. I mean, I've been 18 for a while now, but when you turn 18, being an actor, that's like a blessing because you get to go on book more roles, go a lot of more auditions, and
Right.
it's just a blessing.
Right. That's amazing. How did the gig come about on Power?
With Power, I'm with an agency, Innovative Artists.
Okay.
I've been with them since I was about 12 years old, and they had emailed me one day saying that I had to go to an audition for Power, but it didn't. It could have been anything. I always tell this to everybody. It could have been a Power outage commercial. Could have been who knows something to do with Power. But then when I really clicked the email in parentheses, it said stars.
Yeah,
Letters, and I was just like,
exactly.
wow, it blew me out my mind, and I was like, that's amazing. And I had went. It was a next day audition, so I had to practice my lines. I had to embody the character to the best of my ability. I went into my room, and the funny thing is, my friends were there that day. But I said, you guys don't have to leave. But just know I'm gonna go in my room and I'm gonna study my lines. I'm gonna go hard at this because it was the next day, like at 12:45, and then in the afternoon. I had went there, did my audition. I did it. I felt confident in myself. My nerves were running. Everything was good. And 3 days later, when I was with my mom and my family, they had called me and said that I booked it. No callback needed.
Wow. How was that experience? Did y'all start jumping on couches?
Oh no, my mom was kicking me like that because we were outside. She was kicking me outside.
Really?
It was amazing. The fact that that was my first audition. No, no, not audition. My first booking as a teenager.
As a teenager, yeah. Because I mean, you've done bit films. You worked with Gavin O'Connor.
Yes, yes.
What was the movie called?
Pride and Glory.
Yeah, yeah. How was that working with?
Pride and Glory was amazing. What I can remember, because I was real young, Edward Norton had congratulated me on my work, and hearing that from his mouth was amazing because he's a talented actor himself, and he praised me on the way I acted because I was such a young kid. I was like about 7 when I did that. Not even. I was about maybe 5 years old, 6, and that was just amazing. I did it in Washington Heights, if I'm not mistaken. So it was a real good scene.
That's pretty dope. And I saw on Instagram you posted the photo with you and 50 Cent together.
Yeah.
How was it working with 50? I mean, I saw that. I was like, wow. I mean, just knowing your actual story, which we're gonna get into. But how was it working with him?
Working with 50 Cent was a blessing in itself because he's just a great man, a great entrepreneur. He's a dope actor. He's a dope songwriter, rapper, everything. And he was so genuine when I had met him because I met him at the script read for the first episode of Power. And he was just so good. He had called me over and asked me where I was from. He asked me all these questions, and we were just talking. And me and my mom thanked him for giving us for giving me an opportunity to be on such a big platform and showcase my talent. That was amazing.
That's so amazing. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
I wanted to know, okay, what was your process like up until this point? Because I know your last year was completely different from you.
Yeah.
I hear that you were on a path to destruction. Sort of.
Yeah.
Can you talk to us about that?
So it all started when I was going into high school, maybe about the ending of midway freshman year. That's when I had met a whole new set of friends. I started hanging out with you can say the wrong crowd.
Yeah.
I was getting into things that I shouldn't have been doing. I was smoking a lot of weed like every day, drinking, and I was cutting school, and I didn't want to do anything. From a kid who started acting at 4 years old and had a destined future, I just went totally downhill, and everything just went crazy.
And he's from the Bronx too, you guys.
Bronx.
So, what made you turn from the street?
To be honest, I could say when I had moved to 94th Street on the Upper East Side of Manhattan. I've been there for 2 years now. So I always there's this saying called "you're a product of your environment," and I believe that to the fullest because when I was in the Bronx chilling with my friends every day, that's all I wanted to do. Those are the people I were around.
Yeah.
I was around myself with, and that's all I wanted to do. I was just stuck in that aura. When I had moved, I had to start a whole kind of, you could say, new life because I'm living somewhere differently. My
Right.
friends are all the way over in the Bronx. It's a far reach to go over there, and
Yeah.
and I was just like, wow. I had got back on my work because I was doing bad in school. I had went to a credit recovery school because I was not on track in high school. I went
Mm.
there. I tried my hardest. What I did in summer school, because when you're below the age of 18, you need to have a child workers permit to be able to act, to be able to perform. And I didn't have that because my grades were looking, I was below 65s. So I went to summer school. My principal had promised me, he said, if you can dedicate yourself and pass these two, get these two credits in summer school, I
Hmm.
will stamp you so that you could be allowed to work. And I went hard
Wow.
for that. I went hard. I did it. I got the stamp in, and I started off doing my actual work, like background work, just to get my
Hmm.
foot back in the game. And then everything is set off after that. And it was
Wow.
amazing.
See how that can happen, guys. I mean,
Definitely.
you can definitely go from doing bad to doing good. I mean, life always has a way of turning around.
Yeah.
And I like that you took yourself from being on the street onto big screens and
I
things of
know.
that
I know.
nature because it's a lot that's going on out here. We just saw what happened in the Bronx to
Yeah. To Junior.
Junior.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on that and the violence that's been going on here in New York and the world, period? But
I just feel like I know it goes on around the whole entire world. It'll never stop. But being the fact that it was in the Bronx,
right,
where my hometown, where I'm from, it's just crazy. What I can say is I just feel like kids shouldn't be around. Not even kids, just people in general shouldn't be around that type of environment. You got people should like think greater of themselves. You see all these kids in gangs and stuff because it happened. It was gang
yeah,
affiliated. These kids were outside and on the street and doing things that they weren't supposed to be doing. Unfortunately, he was there at the wrong time, but it just I pray for his family and everyone that's going through that. I just feel like there's better things to do than being in gangs and being
yeah.
involved with those type of situations. I just feel like kids should be motivated to do better.
And what are some things that do you think that we can do that to better our communities in these situations?
I feel like opening like boys and girls club. They should
Yeah,
open a
of
lot
course.
of those so
Yeah,
kids can, instead of being on the street, they can play basketball,
yes,
do what they need to do, but whatever it is, football, being involved in more activities and that'll distract them from street
hmm,
violence. So giving them opportunities to give them, because I know a lot of people from the Bronx want to become artists, so give
yeah,
them studios, free studio time where people could work and all this stuff. Like provide them with things that will be entertaining for them. So they don't have
right.
to be in the street. They don't have to rely on that.
One thing I thought that was so interesting about your story was that the relationship between you and your dad.
Yeah,
And your dad, he was deported
yeah, yeah,
years ago. So can you elaborate about that? Because it's a lot of that going on now,
yeah.
and that happened to you guys years ago.
Yeah, what I can remember because I was real young. I think he had got deported when I was about 3 years old. When I was about 3 years old, he got deported around where I lived at, around the train in the tunnel because he was selling. I don't know what I forgot what he was selling, but he was selling to an undercover cop, and then it wasn't no
Mm,
weed. So because for him to get deported, it couldn't be weed, and he was sold to two undercover cops, and they had to call him, and he went through the process and got deported, and he said he could never come back here again. So that was the process. I knew him until the age out until I was about 3, but I didn't really get to fully know him and understand because I didn't grow up with
yeah.
him. I was only 3 years old when it happened.
So are you able, like, do you still keep in contact with
So
your
I
father?
haven't talked to him in a couple of years, but not due to any hatred. It just we don't talk that much. But I've heard my family that goes to DR and come back. They said that he's real proud of me for the things that I'm doing. So that's dope. But I really keep in contact with him here and there. We talk to each other.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's good. I mean, and now that you're, this big star, this
Yeah,
upcoming
yeah,
star, I mean, you are able to travel and I mean, it's not like how it used to be. You'll be able to still visit and build that
of
relationship.
course. I'll
What
always
would
be
you
there.
say to those who are going through those situations? Like, how did you and your mom deal with that?
Um,
Thank you, Stevie.
uh, my mom has just been part like my backbone since I was young. She's always been there for me. She was my mother and father due to the situation we were in. But for people, I just want to say that you don't need a father to grow up. Hey, your mother is always gonna be there for you. She always put you in check. She's done it for me, so I could. That's what I can say.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Do you plan to be a father one day? I'm sure some females out there that
Um,
are watching now.
uh, but in the future, yeah, I'm not thinking about that right now because I'm real
That's
focused on my career. But in
good.
the future, I wouldn't mind, of course, not to
Yeah,
carry on the legacy, and
yeah,
that'll be so dope.
that's
Definitely.
good.
Yes.
Because I was just speaking with Michael, your who's on Power
Yeah,
as
yeah, yeah.
well, and I know you guys were chilling together at the premiere
Oh yeah,
party,
that was so
and I
dope.
heard the premiere party was crazy.
It was
I'm
dope.
mad that I missed it, but how was it there?
It was amazing because, like I said, that was my since maybe 2012 when I had became a knucklehead and stopped acting and
Yeah.
dealt with all that those problems. That was the first premiere that I attended since 2012 when I had did a film called Nature Calls with
Hmm.
Johnny Knoxville, Peyton Oswald. It was like
Oh
this
yeah, right,
comedian
right,
film.
right,
Yeah,
right. Yeah,
it was hilarious. But that was my first premiere since 2012, so it was dope. And being that it was Power, it was a big premiere. It was really
yeah, a major big deal.
yeah.
When you felt like went into the streets and started hanging around crowd, did you ever deal with depression?
Um, I don't I don't think I've ever dealt with depression in my life, and that never occurred. It was just not being a leader. I was more of a follower. I was highly
Mm,
influenced, and that's not really the trait I have. It's always good to be a leader, to do your own things, never to follow the next person, unless it's for
yeah,
positive
and
reasons.
sometimes that can absolutely happen. You know,
Definitely.
when I think when the phone calls stop and the emails stop,
Oh my God, yeah.
maybe it's easy to get out there and start hanging with the wrong
It is
people.
true.
And
Yep.
but what would you say to those kids out there that, I mean, things kind of stop for them? They're not going to school anymore. What would you have done differently if there wasn't acting?
If there wasn't acting,
Yeah, if it wasn't acting and you were still on the street, where do you think you would be right now?
if to be honest, if it wasn't for that for my acting, I've always had my family to like have my back and always tell me they never supported what I was doing. So that helped a lot as
I
well.
love that.
But if it wasn't for the acting, I really wouldn't know what it is. I think I was probably still be in the streets if I'm not mistaken, still cutting because I had no motivation for school at all. Acting,
Really?
in a bad it was in a bad or good way, but acting kind of gave me that motivation to do good in school, do it because I was telling
Yeah.
myself if this is what I really want to do to get that child workers permit since I was
Hmm.
at a young age.
Hmm.
You need to do good in school. You need to get on your studies because I don't want to keep waking up every morning at 8 o'clock so I could go to school when I could be worrying about auditions and scripts and
Yeah.
doing everything that has to do for my career, what's best for my career. So that's what motivated me, and I'm glad I had that.
Any dream role out there that you would like to tap into?
Dream role, I would love to. I've always said this. I think working in like a superhero film,
Oh,
like a
that
Marvel.
you want to know what's funny? Michael said the
You
same thing.
serious?
Yeah.
That is so dope.
So
Like,
that would be really good if
yeah,
we can get all of you guys
right,
together.
right. The funny thing is, the other day I was searching up a Spanish, Spanish, not Marvel, but Spanish heroes in comic books that they never made
Is there
films of.
one? They
There's a couple, like
Oh,
I think
really?
there's like two teenagers, and I was like, if they ever was to make a film, I would love to be a part of it. I'd love to. Why not, right?
Yeah,
Put
you gotta put that all
it
out
into
there,
existence. Yeah.
okay?
Speak
I
it into
mean that would be amazing. And if we could really do get you and Michael to reunite or something like
that'd be
that, I
dope
think that would be really
for
dope.
real.
What would you say had been the most challenging thing that you've been through? I mean, you're only 18, but
Hmm.
I mean, fair enough. You definitely have lived, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah, yeah. I'd say the most challenging was the process of me doing a whole 360 turn and becoming a whole totally different person. That was real challenging. I'm not gonna say it was easy. I'm not gonna say or lie and say that it was easy. I was easy to go 1, 2, 3. It wasn't. It took a process. It took dedication. Me waking up early every day,
Yeah.
me being motivated and believing in myself. And the funny thing is, when I did the credit recovery, when I went to the credit recovery school and got those 2 credits to start acting, I still wasn't even doing good in my credit recovery school because it was kind of sort of like high school too. They were throwing a bunch of work at me, a bunch, and I was just like I was too caught up. So I had ended up resorting in a GD school where I live
Mm.
by. Yeah, GD school, and at that time too, I was like, it was so hard as well. And I was like, yo, I don't know what to do. Like, I'm gonna give up. Like, I don't know. It's over. But it took me 7 months, and I actually passed all the subjects, the 5 subjects.
That's
and
amazing.
and now I'm not attending school anymore. I'm just focused on my
On
acting.
your
Right now.
acting.
Yeah.
That's
So
congratulations.
yeah, so it was very challenging, but I'm glad I was able to do it because now I can share a story and I hope to motivate and inspire other kids of my demographic.
Someone asked if you could give back to your community, what would that look like?
Giving back to the community. I've been talking a lot about this a lot with my family. I would love to like start a campaign or start a program where I could get teens to like to a program where I could get teens to focus on their dreams, whether that be being an actor, basketball star, or an artist, whatever it is that they want to do, help them out. I would love to like talk to. I would love to go to high schools and colleges, middle schools, and talk to kids
That would be amazing.
and inspire. I would love because I have such a story to tell, and
Right.
it's not good to keep that inside. I
I
would love
mean,
to share that.
exactly. If you have a story to tell, then I think it's important to talk
Exactly.
about it. And I mean, plus with you being from the Bronx, I feel like there's so many people out there that need your story
It is
and
true.
to see, okay, I got myself out of the
and
situation.
it's authentic too. It's not coming from
Exactly.
someone who's never been through it. I feel like
Right.
I always say this: God has a plan, and everything happens for a reason. I feel like that happened because I needed to tell a story. Like it's it's something that people hear will really inspire them.
Yeah.
And like, wow, that change that can change somebody.
Would you say that it is a bit like challenging for Hispanic actors?
Um,
Have you noticed any hardships with accomplishing roles in
I
this
feel
film?
like now in the new age that we live in, I think I don't think it's like that anymore. I say for me at least, they my agency is always sending me for all ethnicity roles. They're not always typecasting me in Hispanic roles. They do send me to Hispanic roles as well, but I'm always getting a lot of all ethnicities,
Yeah,
whether that being any ethnicity. So I feel like I'm in a pretty settled state right now when it comes to that. I think it's fine for me.
awesome. Someone also asked, um, did he have acting in your school, and how did you get your start?
Oh, um, I never had acting in my school. I had a drama class
Okay.
when I was in elementary school, which I had to attend actually. So that didn't teach me much because I don't really remember. But I started acting when I was about 4 years old.
Yeah.
It was something that you could say was implemented inside of me. Like my mom said, she had started doing background work at first in the film of Queen
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 Latifah.
Latifah's
Right.
film, Life Support. There you go.
Yeah.
Life Support, and I was with her. They needed kids as well.
Which I really love that film, by the way. But yeah.
Yeah, I was with her and a bunch of kids, and me and a bunch of kids had to like act as if we were in like the playground and stuff and playing around. And they said, "Don't look at the camera, and don't look at Queen Latifah, please." And when they said set rolling action, all the kids were looking away, not doing what they were told, and I was just there playing in the tic tac toe thing on the slides, all that stuff. And I guess she had noticed that. And when me and my mom were going back home, taking the train, we had seen her in her glasses, like waiting for her van to take her to wherever she was going. And she said she took off her glasses and told my mom, "You should put him into acting." That's what I remember. She remembered.
Wow.
You should put him into acting because he takes directions so well.
That's amazing.
At a young age to be doing that, and I guess she saw the light in me, and ever since then, me and my mom, we did headshots. We ended up getting a manager. The first thing I ever booked was The Sopranos.
Oh
When I
yes,
was about like 5 years old.
I love that show, and
Yeah.
Steve was on the show
Yeah.
as well as Queen Latifah.
Hmm.
I would love to know like what was she. I'm sure she'd be very proud
Yeah.
today.
And I always tell my mom this. I can't wait till I'm at the position in my life where I can meet her and share that story with her because I'm for certain that she would remember that.
Yeah,
Yeah. If I was to acknowledge it.
because it was definitely a different moment. I know Dana, she don't the Queen Latifah, her real name is not
Yeah.
Dana, but she don't walk around telling everyone that they should be an actor.
Yeah.
So
I doubt it.
I think that's definitely an honor
It's
coming
God's
from her.
plan. Everything happens for a reason. My mom took me with her that day for a reason because she didn't have to. She only took me because she didn't have a babysitter for me, and she loved
Really?
yeah,
Was that?
she loved doing work where she can be around her kids. She never liked leaving us at the house. babysitters or anyone.
Yeah,
Take care.
yeah. Just
So look at
where
that.
there's a lot of people involved
Look at
and
that,
where you
right?
can be active,
Exactly.
stimulate your mind. And have you ever thought about writing and producing your own project?
At this point, right now, I'm more focused on booking, landing roles, and then developing more in my acting career. But I do want to get at a point in a couple of years where I
Yeah.
want to start like directing or writing like short
I,
films
I
and everything.
really I'm gonna tell you that that was actually a trick question
Really?
because I wanted to kind of see where your mind was,
Hmm.
and you're actually an actor
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
interested in learning the craft first
yeah, 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 yeah,
instead of, because a lot of times in this new generation we have a lot of talent that they want to do everything,
yeah, yeah.
and that's okay. That I feel like kind of have to put you don't want to put your eggs in one
No, no,
basket.
no, no.
However, when you're first starting out, you want to at least do something for at least, like, if you're acting, do that for at least 5 years and kind of
Exactly,
perfect it, and then
exactly,
start writing along the way, and
exactly,
then perfect that as well. You can consolidate everything all together.
exactly.
So it seems like you definitely have your mind together.
Yeah, thank you. And I would even love to do like a biopic about myself in the future. I would love to. That would be such an inspirational story, like whether
Maybe
it's an
you and 50 Cent could
right.
work on that together.
Exactly, exactly. That would be
I
so
think that
dope.
would be dope.
And for people to
So
see that, that's amazing.
what can we expect next from you?
Next for me, you can catch me on the new season of Elementary, episode 17, which comes out, if I'm not mistaken, August 20th in a couple of weeks. So,
And
yeah,
is that gonna be
CBS.
on CBS?
CBS. If I'm not
Oh
mistaken,
yeah,
8 p.m. If I'm not,
CBS pays very well.
yeah. Thank you,
Congratulations.
thank you. And it's
it
amazing because it's such a different role from Power. And you see
is.
on Power,
It is.
you see that Abel, the kid Abel, the tough corner street kid talking out
Are you
Tommy.
able to give us just a little bit of what your character is like?
All I can say right now is tough corner street kid who's not happy, who's not really happy with what happened to residing in the death of Father Callahan. He's not happy at all. And I know you've seen the
No.
scene. Him and Tommy are not happy at all. So that's what I can say right now.
I cannot wait. I will be watching. And also, just a quick question. Um, do you have any hidden talent? Because I just, in my mind, I feel like you probably are multi-talented.
I the rapping. I won't say singing, but I could do a little bit of
I
rapping. I
figure
was
you
yeah.
had some music.
I was doing
Yeah.
that before. No, I started acting first, but there was a time in my life where I fell into the music lane because I always loved hearing music, and Drake had a big impact on me because of I just like his flow, the way he could go from singing and rapping,
Right.
and he was an actor too.
Yeah.
So the story was dope. I always would like growing up. I would always like rap his songs or Young Money and all that stuff. I was always involved with them. Yeah, yeah. So I did do music for a while. My artist name was Frank the Performer, something like that. I even had my Instagram called Frank the Performer before it was official Francisco Burgos. And my whole bio was just my SoundCloud.
Yeah.
If people wanted to DM me to work with me on features and all that stuff. So yeah, it was
Wow.
I took it all off, but and started focusing more on acting.
And would you ever go back to that?
Yeah, I always tell this to my friends when I get a good part, maybe in the future when I'm able to support myself with a studio
Mm-hmm.
and a nice Mac and then the little speakers and then I get the what's this called the music editing app. I would do it all by myself though, just in my own house in my studio, and just start cooking up. I would do it.
That was amazing. Congratulations on all of your success, and thank you so much for coming on to Sessions with Stephen
That
Live.
was amazing. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Make sure you subscribe to Sessions with Stephen Live on iTunes. I see you have a lot of people from BS in here. BS. And also, give them your contact where to follow you.
Definitely, you guys can. Well, if I'm tagged on this Facebook post, Francisco Burgos on Facebook, and on Instagram, you guys can follow me at official Francisco Burgos, and Twitter, F Burgos the actor. You guys can follow me at all those social medias.
Thank you, guys. Subscribe now.